get a different clip on for me. Ah, we're on. Well, we're still in the season of light, everyone. We're in the middle of Kwanzaa. We finished Hanukkah and Christmas, and we are about to embark upon a new year. So we want to bring our light that we ourselves individually and collectively hold. We want to bring that into this planet for this coming year. That's my intention for 2026, to continue shining our brilliant lights. And today's talk is about, well, how can I shine my light? What does that even mean? You will know at the end of this talk. Because we're going to explore the idea of living as God's highest truth by sharing that light that we individually and collectively are. Contemplate this for a moment. You're an expression of God, but you're so much more than that. That expression of God is who you are. It is your real, true, eternal self. There is nothing else. The great giver of life, the force of creativity and energy that is back of all things, and I would add, in all things. That light of God is in all things because that is our light, our truth. It is your highest truth to be a giver to life. Not in the obligatory way, but because it is your divine nature to give. What does the infinite do? It gives, it creates. And when you create, what are you doing? You're giving. You're giving more and more and more. It doesn't stop. And that's who we are, truly who we are. There's a story attributed to a famous preacher, John Wesley, that I'm going to read today. It was told that he once was preaching this mighty sermon, much like myself. He was preaching this mighty sermon in which he said, "You should get all that you can." Many heads nodded in absolute agreement to that. And Wesley continued, "You should keep all you can." And the listeners buzzed with agreement, and he even got several amens and hallelujahs on that one. And after pausing the room to settle, Wesley added, "And you should give all that you have, all that you can. Give all that you can." And then there was silence. Nobody made a sound until from the back of the room drifted this intense whisper. Well, he just ruined a perfectly good service. Is it really ruining a good sermon when we say to give, not to just keep? Because that seems to be a big mentality. When I only can remember, well, I remember England, but I do remember now, of course, thank God, but this country seems to be, and I'm sure it's not everybody, it's not us, about getting and keeping, holding on to as tightly as we can, everything that we can. When is our divine nature to give? That's when we're in alignment with the flow of divinity. When our thoughts rest entirely upon ourselves, we become, I'm going to read, this is from Ernest Holmes, this is not from me, okay? He says this, when our thoughts rest entirely upon ourselves, we become abnormal and unhappy. But when we give ourselves with enthusiasm to any legitimate purpose, losing ourselves in the thing that we are doing, we become normal and happy. Let those who are sad, depressed, or unhappy find some altruistic purpose into which they may pour their whole being, and they will find a new inflow of life of which they have never dreamed. It's one of the teachings of the 12-step program is to be of service, to give. Because in that giving, we are becoming so much more of who we really are, the truth of who we are. Arthur Ashe once said, "From what we get, we make a living. From what we give, however, we make a life." How do you want your life to be? In lack and limitation? Or filled with the abundance of joy, of feeling good, of peace, of everything this season is supposed to be teaching us? And live it every day. Christmas is every day. Hanukkah is every day. Kwanzaa is every day. All of these other holidays that I don't even know the name of, they are every day. We are givers of life. We are life. And so, why do we make a life, as Arthur Ashe said? Because, as I already said, it is our divine nature to give. We are creations of the infinite giver. We were born to give. We were born to give. We were born to shine our lights wherever we go. Now, to be clear about what I mean by our gifts to others, I want to share another passage from the Bible. It is a story of the lame beggar, and he was asking for alms, which is money and goods, of Peter and John as they entered the gates of the temple, as they were going through. And Peter said, "Gold and silver have I none, but such as I have, I give unto thee. Arise and walk." And the man picked up his bed and walked. "Such as I have, I give to thee." Those are the words we want to keep in our minds. Doesn't it feel good when we give? It feels good to me. It feels so good. I know I'm in the flow. I know I'm working that law of attraction. But that's not why I'm doing it, circulation. That's not why I'm doing it. And it's not why any of you do it. We do it from the goodness of our heart, because not only do we make someone else feel good, we feel good. We feel really good. So those words are the key. They're the key. Today we're talking about sharing of what we have, sharing of ourselves with others. And I have a list of 9 ways that we can do that, and there's many more. But here's 9 ways. The gift of listening. And this can be a tricky one though, but it's an important one. You really have to listen. No interrupting. No daydreaming. No planning your response. How many of us do that? Because I'm going to forget what I want to say, so I have to hold it here. We're not paying attention to what is being said, and that person wants that gift of being heard. All people want to be heard. They want to be really heard. That's a big gift. The gift of laughter. Who doesn't like that? Especially here, joyful gathering. I mean, come on. It's the gift of laughter. And we forget about it. As I was just reading an article, 6-year-olds, they laugh something like 600 times a day or something. And we're lucky if we laugh 6 times a day. Right? We're lucky if we have a good, when was the last time you had a good belly laugh? Boy, it's been a long time since I had a good belly. You might. You've got a lot of family. They're probably funny, too. You're all Italian. The Italians are funny people. I'm going to come over to your house. Okay, back on script. So the gift of laughter. So share articles. Share funny stories. If you know the punchline. Share funny stories. Your gift will say, I love to laugh with you. I love to hang out with you. Hang out with some really fun people. I think a lot of us in here do. Come next week is it next week? No, the week after next, to our luncheon, because we have some good laughs at that luncheon, and good food, by the way, one of my favorite restaurants. But we need to be surrounded by people who are uplifting, and where we can just laugh with them. It feels so good. It really does. So keep that in mind. How many times a day do you really laugh? And then we have the gift of appreciation. Who doesn't like to be appreciated? And if they don't like it, then they have a self-esteem issue. Because people truly like to be appreciated. I really believe that. It can be as simple, thank you for your help. Hey, I really like that outfit you're wearing today. I got a lot of compliments on my scarf. Reverend Brenda gave this to me from Peru, so you all know. So you don't all have to come up to me afterwards. But a gift of a compliment. Your hair looks great today. Like your hair today, it looks really cool. So those are gifts that we're given, a gift of appreciation. And no, that's the gift of a compliment, which we do appreciate. The gift of kindness. Every day, go out of your way to do something kind, to do something really kind. And remember, what we give to others, we also receive. I love going to supermarkets because I go in and I know I'm going to have a good time. I have a good time in my supermarkets because I talk to everybody. Not everybody. I talk to a lot of people. And I don't know, all these wonderful things happen. I'm kind. I like to go out of my way to be kind to the people in the store and give them a big smile or say something funny, which happens all the time. But, you know, it's a wonderful feeling. And those people, you don't know what you're doing for a person's life. They could be ready to commit suicide, and you come in and give them a great big smile, and you change their life, not just that moment. It can be that. It's not why you do it, but it's that important that we're all humans. We're all in this together. Let's support each other. Let's uplift each other. The gift of solitude, that's when you don't want to be around people. That's when you want to just be alone. Give yourself the gift of solitude, and then give others that gift. If they just want to relax and chill, they don't want to be on all the time, unless you live with me and I'm on all the time. But other than that, it's a gift, so I have to practice that. I'll go in my office and give the gifts of solitude. People appreciate that. Here's a good one. The gift of a cheerful, there's Reverend Michael's got this. The gift of a cheerful disposition. Yeah, the easiest way to feel good is to extend a kind word to someone. And it's really not hard to say. Have a nice day. Smile at someone. Just be that presence that is cheerful, that is uplifting. And you know, I can walk into those grocery stores or any of where I'm dealing with people who are actually working, and they're serving me. I'm very grateful. I don't go through that self-check thing. I don't know how to operate that thing. So, and then when I do, I have to go ask someone to help me anyway. So, I'm saying we can be. It's so easy, and we feel so much better. The gift of a cheerful disposition. And then we have the gift of affection. And I have this reading, it's kind of like a reading that I found on the internet. No moving parts, no batteries, no monthly payments, and no fees. In fact, it's quite relaxable. It can't be stolen, and it won't pollute. One size fits all, do not dilute. It uses a little energy, but yields results enormously, relieves your tension and your stress, invigorates your happiness, combats depression, makes you beam, and elevates your self-esteem. Your circulation it corrects without unpleasant side effects. It is, I think, the perfect drug. May I prescribe to you the hug? I think that we are all masters of the hug. Yeah? You get a hug when you got here. If you didn't, raise your hand because you're going to get one before you leave. Okay, I don't see any hands up, so everyone got a hug? Okay, good. A hug. The appropriate hug, of course. I don't have to say that here, but the appropriate hug. I'm not going to go in the grocery store and hug people, although people do that. I'm not going to do that. I'll give them a good smile. But hug someone. It's a connection. We're so much more than these cells. You know, we're so much more. We're this vibrant energy. That's who we are. Be generous with those appropriate hugs. And then the gift of your presence. You are a gift. Each and every one here is a gift. If you didn't know that, you are a gift. Sometimes it is simply the gift of your presence, especially when you are in a place of knowing that we are reflecting the presence, the divine presence of who we are. The light of source energy, the oneness of the divine, of God. For when we are in that alignment, when we are truly in that alignment with this divine energy, we can give this great gift of joy. We can give this great gift of well-being. And it's contagious. It is something you want to catch. It is contagious. And there's a Sufi teaching which says, and this is a Sufi teaching, past the seeker as he prayed, came the cripple and the beggar and the beaten. Seeing them, he cried, "Great God, how is it that a loving creator can see such things and yet do nothing about them?" God said, "I did. I created you." So we support each other. We heal each other. That's why we come here on Sundays, so that we can relax and just be in an energy of love and peace and joy. We are here to help others, who are then here to help others. And it goes on and on. And that's how we become a peaceful, harmonious nation. But it starts with that one person helping someone. We're born, as I said, to give, to help. We are in an infinite circle of giving, and in turn receiving. The universe operates through this dynamic exchange. Giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. Giving and receiving are the same. Don't you love when you give a gift? Yes. It makes me feel good. Hopefully it makes the other person feel good. So it's that flow of giving and receiving, and they have to be balanced. You have to be able to receive. I just don't understand people who can't receive. I love to receive gifts. You can give me a gift anytime you want to give me a gift. I love to receive. And so, but I love to give. So I love to shop. You know that. So I love to shop for others too. You know, it's the whole flow. It's the interchange. It's the way it works. It's a law of circulation. Holmes wrote this in The Science of Mind. When the law of Circulation is retarded, stopped, blocked. Stagnation results, he says. It is only as we allow the divine current to flow through us and out that we really express life. The law of giving and receiving is definite. Emerson tells us, beware of holding too much good in your hands. Not letting go. Close. The paradox, in order to keep this joy, this love, this peace, whatever it may be, we must give it away. For it will always be in the giving that we will receive. And very simple, but very profound, and a lot of people do not do it. But it's proven, it's highly effective. This is the law of universal good, highly effective. In Buddhism, it is said there are 3 different kinds of givers. The beggarly giver, they give only after much hesitation, and then just the leftovers, the worst of what they have. The underlying belief there is, I don't have enough. Then you have the friendly givers. They give what they themselves would use. They share what they have, and with less deliberation and more open-handedness. The underlying belief there is that there will be more. It's a friendly universe. And then you have the kingly givers, the highest kind of givers. They offer the very best of what they have. They share spontaneously and in the moment without needing deep deliberation. Giving has become natural to their conduct, to their lives. Their underlying belief is that life is abundant. I live in a universe of abundance. There's always more, and there always will be, because that is what this energy that we speak of is. It is always expanding. It is always evolving. So it must always be creating, which is giving. St. Paul reminds us that we are at our best when we feel the freedom of giving from a deep sense of abundance. In Corinthians, it is written, but remember this, he who sows sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he who sows generously shall reap generously. So let every man give according to what he has decided in his mind, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loves a cheerful giver, and God is able to provide you with every blessing in abundance, so that you may always have enough of everything and may provide in abundance for every good work. So that is why it is really important to develop that abundance consciousness that we spoke of last month. To have the consciousness of abundance, not just a word, it's a way of being, it's who you are, the consciousness. First of all, it feels really good. And secondly, we let go of that sense, any sense of lack and limitation. When we are hesitant and want to hold on to everything, we feel like there's not enough. When we know there's always enough, and there always will be. And that is the reason that we are grateful for every little or big thing in our lives. It deepens the attitude of gratitude, of appreciation. And I have a story. It's a vivid example of a kingly giver. I have given this story before, but I think it's very to the point right here. A nicely dressed little girl was excitedly looking through the Barbie dolls with her father in a department store just a few days before Christmas. And in her hand she had this roll of money clamped tightly, and she came across a Barbie that she really liked. She would turn and she would ask her father if she had enough to buy this Barbie. And he said yes. And then she would proceed on and she would pick another one up and do the same thing. Do I have enough? And he said yes. It was a kind of a ritual that they had developed. As she was looking, a little boy wandered in across the aisle and was sorting through the Pokemon videos. And he was dressed very neatly. You could see his clothes were a little worn, his pants were a little too short. You could see that, but he was dressed, and he too had some money in his hand, but it looked to be like a small amount of money. But he had his money too. And he did the same thing that she did, same kind of ritual. He was looking at the Pokemon videos and looked up at his father, and his father would say no. And he looked at more of them, and it was the same thing, no. And so he went down another aisle and started to look at a book of stickers, things that his money could buy. And the little girl had apparently chosen her Barbie already, a beautifully dressed, glamorous little doll that would have been the envy of every girl on her block. However, she stopped and she was watching. She was watching this interchange between the father and the son. And as I said, the little boy gave up the idea of a video, and he went and down that other aisle and got that book of stickers. With that, the little girl put her Barbie back on the shelf, and she ran over to the Pokemon games. She excitedly picked up the one that was lying on the top. Hurriedly, she spoke to her father and then raced towards the checkout counter. Then, much to the little girl's obvious delight, the little boy and his father got in line a few people back. After the toy was paid for and bagged, the little girl handed it back to the cashier and whispered something in her ear. The cashier smiled and put the package under the counter. And when the little boy came up to the cashier rang up his purchase and then said, "Congratulations, you are my 100th customer of the day, so you win a prize." And with that, she handed this little boy this video game that he really, really wanted. And he's standing there in absolute disbelief, and he says, "This is exactly the one I really, really like." The little girl and her father had been standing by the door during all of this, and she had the biggest, prettiest smile on her face that she could possibly have. And they walked out to the car. The father asked the daughter why she had done that. "Daddy, didn't Nana and Papa want me to buy something that would make me very happy?" He said, "Of course they did, honey." And with that, the little girl skipped and giggled towards the car. She had shared her light. She was a kingly giver. Instead of thinking of this that she really wanted for herself, she just got such joy out of giving to someone else anonymously, which is always a nice way to do it. When we share our light, give to uplift people, show kindness. We are living in alignment with the essence of our true divinity, who we really are. And our energetic frequency, our vibration is functioning at a very high level. We can feel it. We can feel so good. We become a beneficial presence. We become this beneficial presence. We are unifying in the oneness. And we are a force of unconditional love. I somehow, like maybe late last night or early this morning, I was reading of the astronaut that was, maybe you did too, he's in space 168 days, and he just got back to Earth. I didn't read the whole article, I had to find it again. And he realized, because he could see the Earth as a speck, but with a ring around it, which is our ozone layer, I would think, and that the only thing that was truly important was keeping this planet alive, not what we could get out of the planet, not all the wealth in the world. None of that was important, because without the health of this planet, we would have nothing. We would cease to be. So prioritize in life, and I know everyone here does, but maybe over in video land, you never know who's watching. Maybe they can think again. Think about what's really important in life. Marianne Williamson wrote in her book, Return to Love, in every community, there is work to be done. In every nation, there are wounds to heal. And in every heart, there is the power to do it. That's how powerful we are. In every one of our hearts, there is the power to do it by expressing the light, living inside or as God's living truth, so that we can celebrate. That's what the light is. It's this energy, this vibration that is tremendous, that it exceeds all frequencies. And that's what we're capable of doing. We're so powerful. We don't even know how powerful we are. But when we give to others, really give that kind of, that gift of caring and kindness and love. So, let's bring our gifts, our light into the new year. Let's really be conscious about this brand new year. Don't make resolutions. Be the kindness, be the light. Happy New Year to everyone.